And what they decide will impact nearly 48 million people. That number has gone up 18% since 2010 and now includes 1 in 7 Americans. KPLC's Gerron sat down with one Lake Area woman affected by the cuts. Gerron is in the studio with part 1 of his report on the effects the government cuts to SNAP benefits have on real people.
Yes, Cynthia. Well, tonight you'll meet a woman who had everything going for her until life happened, and how the government who she thought would be there to help her after she spent years helping them has continuously let her down. Most recently by cutting funding to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, most commonly known as food stamps.
It's something you think that would never happen to you, and when it does happen to you, all you could really do is just pray.
Jamie Cooley is on food stamps. Her only source of income is a child support check in the amount of $438 each month. She gets just over $300 in food stamps every month, but that's down from the $497 she got just over 1 year ago.
We were so ecstatic that we ran to the grocery store.
When her daughter left for college in August, that $497 dropped to $337 for Jamie and her 11-year-old son. Recent federal cuts to SNAP benefits decreased that number some $20. And while $20 may not seem like a lot, Jamie says taking a little from a little leaves a big hole.
How can they cut programs for people that depend on feeding their children?
Jamie is one of the 884,000 people receiving SNAP benefits in the state of Louisiana. And while critics of the program say many people abuse it or use it while not trying to make a better life for themselves, Jamie says that's not her.
When I lived a better life, I lived. Now I live 1 hour at a time because I don't know what the next hour will bring. It's like a full-time job. It's always this than a doctor's appointment.
We were with her today at one of those appointments, getting her bi-weekly infusion to treat her chronic lupus and Sjögren's syndrome. She was diagnosed 2 years ago after a 20-year career as a medical caregiver. Jamie says government funding cuts to programs like SNAP are things you hear about but don't really understand until it happens to you.
The government that had this program in 2009, they need to look at the priorities of that coverage and not cut the American people's food.
Nearing the end of the month, her cupboards are bare and her refrigerator scarce. In a week, her food stamp account will be credited for the month of December, but that's after Thanksgiving. Still, she's grateful for her family, and the one thing she says is constant throughout any federal cut.
Pray that God makes you through every day, every hour, every day. It's one day at a time.
Now tomorrow night, in part 2 of this report, I'll hit the grocery store with a limited budget and with a dietitian to break down some menus, tips, and tricks food stamp participants can keep in mind when shopping to make sure they're getting the most with their money. You can look for that report tomorrow night at 6. At your service, Gerron, KPLC 7 News.